So the elections have concluded, the results are in. The MK honeymoon appears to be over, because according to these by-election results, no one's voting for it.
Well, I mean, not no one, but they're not voting for it as much as some people would speculate. So MK had the strategy to take old ANC councillors, take them over to MK, and then rerun by-elections, because that's what happens when you lose a councillor. They did this on 4 or 5 occasions during the course of the last week, and basically the IFP trounced them all, which is quite interesting.
So one of the ANC strategies in KZN was that they would basically now have to obviously have a fight with MK. MK's idea was, because they weren't in a coalition with the ANC, they'd get all the ANC councillors to resign, possibly rebrand themselves as MK councillors and move over. And that was the idea, and the idea then would be that it would almost cave the ANC support, or would collapse the government and national unity in that area, and a bunch of shenanigans would ensue. They had 4 of these supposed by-election challenges, and the MK lost all the seats, apart from 1. So it's very interesting to see that the strategy that they were intending to play is basically fallen flat.
So according to the article, it says 9 ANC councillors resigned and joined the MK party, but most of them failed to actually retain their positions, because the ANC won those particular wards that they resigned from, irony of ironies, and the IFP won the remaining wards. MK did win 1 or 2 wards, but really, I mean, they were looking for 100% 6 out of 6, so they only won 1 out of the 6. IFP came out very strong. ANC came out very strong as well. And EFF came out absolutely nowhere in KZN, so they are completely out of that province. So what does this have to say about the future of MK? I mean, for me, it is obviously way too early to say, but maybe the shine is coming off a little bit, because as we have been saying for a very long time, MK has been rather retarded since the election. No strategy, lots of gnashing of teeth, lots of shouting, and that's about it, really. No real political strategy. And I think maybe these results are an indication that people agree with us.
I don't think it's just a result of, should we say, no strategy. You also got to remember what the national elections were bringing when it came through to MK, right? It was a degree of Zulu nationalism, give us a representation on the national level. The idea was that somehow that translated into the local and the municipal by-elections. And I think what this is showing is something that we've said numerous times. National elections, local elections, regional elections, they're not the same. And so the demands and the needs of the people can't just be meshed as if they were like representing the same thing, because clearly they're not. What's also interesting is that Beaufort West had an election, and the PA lost all their wards. They all went back to the DA. So that in itself was interesting, because as you will recall, Ramon, we went to see Gayton in Beaufort West. He did the North Korean tour with us. We got to see everything that he was doing there, and it does appear that based on these election results, that specific area has now turned against the PA. Is this a sign of things to come now in the future with the PA's fortunes in the Western Cape, given that they are focusing specifically on colour support in that area? It's going to be very interesting to see.
Indeed, it will be very interesting to see. These by-elections, they're just a small indication. We're going to need a lot more data, a lot more by-elections in the future to see where things are going. But the overall remark that we can say from these by-elections is that the parties who are in the government of national unity, who have signed the statement of intent, the IFP, the ANC, and the DA, have done better than those who aren't in the government of national unity. I wonder if that will be a factor in determining the outcome and longevity of the government of national unity between the ANC, the DA, and the IFP, and whoever else wants to join in. I've seen Good has wanted to join, the Freedom Front Plus has wanted to join, and the PAC has joined as well. So the big parties have done very well. Parties outside the government of national unity have not done well at all. Is this a sign of things to come? Is this a sign that the government of national unity will actually be quite a good thing and fairly secure?
So just one correction there. Freedom Front Plus now has joined the government of national unity. They signed up yesterday. And obviously their idea that they put forward to the ANC of recognising the status of Orania was apparently approved. And the ANC said that the way that Freedom Front Plus had engaged with them on this was actually rather impressive and very mature. There was no, racism or shouting at each other, and everybody kind of had an understanding of who they want. And I think this in itself is important because what the government of national unity is meant to portray, especially to the populace, is that the political ideologies are being set aside, everybody's returning to the centre, whilst in the centre they're all going to work for the advancement of, well, everybody. Remember, that's the idea of the Freedom Charter, like everybody would have freedom, everybody would excel. But we haven't seen that with left-wing leaning ANC for a very long time. So this idea that whilst everybody returns to centralism, this is showing that the actual electorate are enjoying that. The markets are enjoying it, the electorate's enjoying it. And really, if the ANC continue to do that, what they may find is that, the bleeding that they've been experiencing may be halted. We don't know how long. But this idea that everybody will just gravitate towards a more extreme left-wing party is now being shown to be untrue. No one's gravitating towards the EFF. The EFF are winning nothing, and their support is cratering everywhere. And the only alternative to that would be the left-leaning MK party. And these elections have shown people aren't leaning towards that either. So it does seem that what these elections are showing is that a government of national unity which focuses on a degree of centralism is kind of what the population wants.
Yeah, it's a small indication through these by-elections. There will be more by-elections in time to come. But fundamentally, the two takeaways from this is that the MK strategy to poach ANC councillors and force a by-election has backfired in this particular regard. And number two, the Government of National Unity parties are doing very well in these by-elections compared to those who are not part of the Government of National Unity. So let us hope sanity prevails. Let us hope pragmatism prevails as well. And let's have a Government of National Unity, for goodness sake. I mean, come on. That's what the people want. Let's give it to them.